Now is clearly not the time to panic. That is the message to Everton fans despite a disastrous run of form. Saturday's FA Cup exit to Championship strugglers Millwall, however controversial, means the Blues are guaranteed to endure their longest trophy-free period in the club's 141-year history. But here David Prentice reasons why making sweeping changes at the top is not the right option just yet. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness, it was the epic of belief, it was the epic of incredulity, it was the season of light, it was the season of darkness, it was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. Obviously Dickens didn't do football. He was entombed in Poets' Corner 8 years before the parishioners of St. Domingos started kicking a ball around Stanley Park. But his famous opening paragraph to A Tale of Two Cities could be just as accurately applied to Everton Football Club in the 21st century. This is quite possibly the worst time in history to have been born, not manufactured, an Evertonian. Yet it should be the best. After almost 2 decades of fruitless searching, the club finally discovered a billionaire with the wealth and the passion for restoring the club to former glories. A John Moores for the millennium. But 2 years into Farhad Mashari's tenure, Saturday's latest gut-wrenching result means Evertonians are now enduring the longest trophy-free period in the club's 141-year history. After the unplanned recklessness of the Steve Walsh regime, Everton finally have a director of football in place who boasts wisdom, foresight and strategy. But the Blues still can't defend their dinner at set pieces. And after the latest cup dream was shattered, there is always a derby match in a month to restore some pride. Except it is now 8.5 years and 18 fixtures since Everton last celebrated victory against their fiercest rivals, again the longest spell in history of derby distress. To rub salt into a festering wound, while Evertonians are set to endure at least 25 years without any kind of silverware, neighbours Liverpool are in pole position to claim the trophy they crave the most for the first time in 29 years. It's tough being a Blue right now. Horribly, unrelentingly tough. But while it is not the sexiest of messages to put out there, some of the most patient supporters in the Premier League need to show even more of that quality. Because despite the latest disappointments to batter their already bruised spirits, Everton do not need more upheaval, they do not need another change of manager with the associated player clear-out that brings. They need stability, solidity and a strategy. And let's not lose sight of the fact that up to and including the visit to Anfield on December 2nd there were signs of progress and improvement. Cenk Tosun celebrates putting Everton into the lead in the FA Cup fourth-round loss at Millwall. Image, Justin Setterfield, Getty Images. Everton had won 4 of 6 Premier League games, unluckily lost at Old Trafford and deservedly drawn at Chelsea heading across the park. And at Anfield they were as impressive as they were unlucky. Jurgen Klopp said, "I told Marco Silva how much I respect his work, because it's incredible what he has done with that team. They're just a really outstanding side." Derbies are always difficult games, but this was a completely difficult to the last few years. While upheaval would throw away the progress which brought that performance, some things do need to change, and quickly. Before tomorrow preferably. And perhaps the greatest priority is Everton's defending at set pieces. Saturday's hat-trick of dead ball disasters means Everton have now conceded 14 goals from set pieces this season. That's a shocking statistic. If Marco Silva intends to persist with zonal marking at set pieces this season, he simply has to improve the Blues' application of the system. Zonal marking has been a talking point amongst Everton fans all season. The subject was even raised at this year's general meeting. But it can work effectively. Liverpool 13 goals shipped all season, use zonal marking. They have conceded once from 80 corners all season. Everton FC boss blasts inconsistent use of VAR following FA Cup defeat. Barcelona used it in 2010-11, when they officially had the shortest team in Europe. They conceded 4 goals from 191 corners. Everton concede relatively few corners. 107 is the sixth lowest in the Premier League, but the goals they concede from them is amongst the highest. However, Silva brings about that change. He has to do it quickly. What won't change tomorrow is the size of the away following at Huddersfield Town. Everton took their full allocation for Saturday night's nightmare trip to Millwall, and could have sold plenty more. The full 2,298 allocation for Tuesday night's trip across the Pennines sold out weeks ago. A launches investigation into alleged racist chanting at Everton Cup game. Its darkest before the dawn, and having witnessed a dark day in the club's recent history, Evertonians need a ray of sunshine at the John Smith Stadium. We live in the most impatient, accelerated, knee-jerk period in our planet's history. But Everton fans need to show patience. Another change, another managerial upheaval, another import and export of players is no good to anybody.